All right, Ms. Gaffney, are we ready on Mr. Goethe?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how is the defense asking to proceed? Mr. Goheen Ring, are you fine with waiving the formal reading of the information?
You know what? I'm just going by what my attorney suggested. However, I can't hear her when she speaks. I don't know if she's speaking in a microphone or not. I can't hear her at all.
I'll speak up.
That was a little better. Thank you.
Your Honor, we're going to enter a not guilty. And Mr. Goheen, are you okay with the judge not reading the information? Okay.
All right.
All right, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty. At this point, we're going to be discussing conditions of release. I'll first hear from the city attorney, Ms. Carmy. I'm going to hear from Ms. Gaffney. Go ahead, Ms. Carmy.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, we are asking the court to impose the 10K bail that district court previously set. If released, we are asking for random UAs, enhanced release, no consumption of alcohol, non-prescribed drugs. The facts in this case allege 3 calls in a very short time period.
You know what? I'm sorry. I would like a formal reading. She's going to go into the facts, so why don't we just have a formal reading? Thank you. Good job. I would like the formal reading.
Mr. Go, I'm going to ask that you stop interrupting the process.
I didn't need to, Your Honor.
I will do a formal reading. Stop apologizing. I'll do a formal reading, but this is not your turn to talk. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Gone through the beginning of the citation. Citation reads, on June 5th, 2023, the La Center Police Department contracted through the Clark County Sheriff's Office, Richfield Police Department, and Cowlitz Tribal Police were dispatched to 1-2 Center for a suspicious person. The caller, Elise, an employee of the Texaco gas station, called 911 to report a male, later identified as Cleve A., rummaging through the garbage and yelling. Elise told dispatch she was trying to close the store and Cleve was not allowing her to do so. It should be noted that 911 was called at 20:53 hours by Cleve's mother, Kimberly, who stated Cleve was intoxicated and walking somewhere around La Center. 20:55 hours, an area resident called and stated Cleve was walking down North Beasley Road, yelling and opening mailboxes. Cleve is flagged as assaultive and aggressive behavior. Richfield Police and Cowlitz Tribal Police arrived on scene and stated Cleve was yelling at them, refusing to accept a ride home, stripping his clothes off and walking all over in the parking lot. As I arrived on scene, I observed a vehicle traveling west on East 4th Street. As the vehicle got closer to Cleve, Cleve intentionally stepped off the sidewalk and began to wander into the lane of travel in front of the truck, while looking directly at the truck, causing the vehicle to drive into the oncoming lane of travel against the double yellow line. As the vehicle began to pass Cleve, Cleve jumped towards the vehicle and slapped the hood of the truck. The driver of the truck, Daniel V., stated he had to drive into the other lane or else he would have hit Cleve. Daniel stated after passing Cleve, he had to quickly swerve back into the proper lane as a vehicle was coming towards him. Cleve was then placed under arrest for disorderly conduct as he intentionally obstructed vehicular traffic without lawful authority. While attempting to get Cleve into the patrol vehicle, he was less than cooperative, at one point using his feet to push against the vehicle door in an attempt to not get in. After prolonged conversation with Cleve and moving his legs into the vehicle, he was secured without further incident. Once at the Clark County Jail, Cleve urinated and spit all over the rear prisoner compartment. Cleve was booked into the Clark County Jail. I certify and declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Washington that all statements made herein are true, accurate, and I'm entering my authorized user ID and password to authenticate it. Signature, Ryan. June 5th, 2023, City, Town of La Center, County of Clark, State of Washington.
Great.
Yes, Your Honor, you just read the PC. Obviously, the court is aware of the allegations. The reason that the city is requesting bail is because we believe that there's escalating behavior, especially over the last year. There's now 5 pending misdemeanor cases ranging from disorderly to resisting arrest to criminal trespass second to assault in the 4th degree, and a no contact protection violation. Those are all pending. There are also 2 pending felony matters that involve assault of law enforcement officers in the 3rd degree and intimidating a judge. Because of the behavior that the city believes is escalating, it does, we believe, create a community safety risk, hence our request for the continued bail. Otherwise, release conditions as noted in our request, including random UAs.
Go ahead, Ms.
Those
Gann.
are all pending.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Your Honor, to release him on his own, since I do want Mr. to know that his mother is here because I don't think he can see her. She's sitting in council table. If he is a mental health advocate, I do want the court to know that he is trying to get mental health treatment through Columbia River Mental Health, through the Recovery Cafe, through the Northwest Lower River Road Treatment Center. He has been residing locally, has local address with his mother. He hopes to enter the Lifestyle Conviction Consent Program. That's an inpatient treatment program in Bellingham, Washington. He does have family support in Bellingham, Washington. He has been attending AA weekly. It appears that my client
Twice weekly.
an alcohol issue, and I would ask the court to release him on his own recognizance so he can work to get him into mental health treatment, which his family has been doing for quite some time. I'm looking through my court file. I know that he was in a hospital in April, so the family is trying to get mental health treatment, and a component of that is we also need some alcohol treatment, but this is an intentional crime, and it does appear from the probable cause application that there are questions as to whether potentially would happen at the time. But that's a matter of fact later for the judge. I think we want the court to consider that in terms of the police. The bail should be commensurate with his economic status. He works with a farm hand, and he's had that job for almost over 20 years, I think, and I've talked to that employer. But his income, he can't raise $10,000 bail. I think he put the bail out before, and leave his mother goes to that bail. My understanding is there is no additional funds for him post bail. He can afford to post bail without getting treatment. My client is asking that for not impose your raise because he believes that that is a violation. It is an unusual punishment. That in a pre-trial release that is unconstitutional, and I'm advocating for a client who request that there not be UA. That is my job. And also my client's mother is asking the court whether she could address it.
Go ahead.
So my name is Kimberly. I am Cleve's mother. For the last 9 years, he has been suffering at the hands of the state of Washington through family court and the illegal capture of his children.
Ma'am, I'd only like to hear about.
I'm going to take a little time, sir, to put this on record because this is the crux of where he is. I have to speak from the bottom to get, or from the top to have you understand where this man is today. I'll be very quick. I have it down in my heart for about a minute and a half, but it must be put on record. Thank you. My tax dollars appreciate it very much for sitting here. So this is Cleve's second offense. He, in my opinion, is at what some people call hitting the bottom. He is well documented. I have suffered greatly with his mental and behavioral health. But because he is my son and I love him deeply and we have a cause, I just want my son well. Therefore, last month of the Clark County Council and the Clark County Board of Health, I deeded my son to be the poster child for mental and behavioral health. We have millions and millions of dollars going into this system, And by God, it's in paperwork for his bail release and all of this, that he should have been held better, what he might call, his rights being violated, I might call that having a UA that I would write him to every day to hold him accountable for at least a month, will serve him a lot more better than what has been happening, which has been nothing from any side. When you're mentally ill, you cannot make the choice to get help for yourself. I've seen it in action. He has a case here, and I'm going to bring it up, in Olympia. I dropped him off we were in a rally serving God, family, and country, and I dropped him off at a mental behavioral institution. It was finally, he was dressed nice, he had nothing. I took his phone, he was cut, his hair was cut nice, and he walked up to that place. Unfortunately, I had a flat and some other issues. I had to get home, it was just scheduled, but I sat there with him at this place for over 5 hours. Finally, eventually, I had to get home with an ailing car and get dark. He eventually, because of his mental health issues, was arrested because he couldn't get into a mental health institution. I find that absolutely insane and probably illegal. But all of his cases will be documented. Why? Because we have a journey. We aim to get millions of children out of CPS capture that want to go home to their loving families. This system has broken my son, and it was the state of Washington that did it. And in my opinion, God told me it started here in the state of Washington, in fact, in West Central Washington. So my son has been fighting for his 5 children. He cannot prevail against the system. And just so happens, I'll put on record, and this is a good long story, it's going to be documented, I know that in my heart, that my son named his first child Unity.
So you said a minute. Hold on. So you said a minute and 30 seconds.
Well,
you've talked for 4 minutes now.
You know what? I don't take a lot of time, and this is a public open court, and I am going to ask the court to actually.
But you're not a party to the proceeding.
2 more minutes to support where my son is in life. It is a complicated story, sir, and I am cutting a lot out. I will say this just because we have a lot of blessings. Unity is a child who was born on Thanksgiving Day and the birthday of Hanukkah. That is a blessing. It happens only once every 74,000 years. He home birthed 2 children, Daniel and Mordecai. The state of Washington is 5 children away. They have harmed these children, and he is suffering to no end. And I am witness to that. And I will stand up for my son, and that's what I'm doing. I will take only 1 more minute. So we are on that journey. And about 4 years ago, when my son was slumped in a courtroom like this, and everybody in the courtroom but he and I knew that he was being framed. Why? Well, so I left that room. For some reason, I went down to a place where I could get 3 emails. I typed it into Mount Vernon Police Department. I got back, looked, and was reading it as I went back. And I thought, oh my God, this police report is unredacted. This police report shows, and God gave me that unredacted police report, shows that my son was being framed. Everybody knew, including his public pretender, that he was framed. He was another attorney, the ones that don't serve the Constitution and or the people that I pay for. And that police report, so I told Lee the minute we were done, I said, get in the car. I want you to show me the park that you lost your wallet at. And he did. He took me 1.5 miles away from where a CPS caseworker, Angela Paul, took a photograph of a park near the home of his children where they were being fostered at the time. He was stalking, and they framed him for stalking. That park was 1 block away from the family home. She got a nice framed photograph, but in the police report that nobody saw, or Cleve and I didn't see, but they did, my people that should serve the families, they should serve us. And we have now Raquel Montoya Lewis took his rights away, knowing that there was fabricated evidence from a caseworker, and she now sits because of Inslee, who's a criminal, up in Washington, Olympia. And I'm going to take her down. Her name is Raquel Montoya Lewis. This is a case where even I'm half out of my mind.
Okay, we're done.
Thank you. Yeah, I get a little heated, and
I would just like
to make sure that everybody knows I'm a speaker. I speak now at Portland.
Well, Your Honor, can I?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want the court to note that the speaker just stated she was going to, quote, take down a Washington Supreme Court justice.
Excuse me, it's a form of speech, and I don't know the way that you're going to take it. And or frame it, ma'am. Thank you. And by the way, I also want to mention, no, she mentioned something about there's a intending to intimidate a judge. That is a lie. It's the same judge. She actually has 2 felonies against my son. It's an active case. We're keeping that case alive. Why? Because it involves Supreme Court Justice Raquel Manguel.
Ma'am, we're good.
And you mentioned that is a lot. That was a lie. That has not been. She actually pleaded innocent of that, and it's another case of the government taking advantage of my son. And this is the form of socialism and Marxism of which I fight against. By the way, Vancouver City Council, the United Nations members, and this is what's happening folks right now. You'll see the public not be able to speak. Don't put your hands on me, that's an arrest. Does he know that when he puts his hands on me, he arrested me?
He didn't arrest
I will go peacefully if he'll let me walk.
Okay, go ahead and walk.
I want to let people know this is a form of socialism and Marxism and communism, and this goes deeper than what you're going to do to my son.
It's time to go.
Help him. I want him home, and I want daily random UAs. Thank you very much. It's not weekly. It's not against his rights. Help my young man so I can go back and get our grandchildren unity.
What's happening here?
Unity.
Wait a second. There was a statement just made from the audience. Where we go one, we go all.
Right.
So what does that have anything to do with disorderly conduct, which is like a misdemeanor? I'm not the audience and I'm not my mom, so what does that have to do with this? And why is she bringing that up?
Was allowing you
I think she just violated my rights right there.
I was allowing your mother to speak regarding.
I appreciate that. But Lisa just quoted the audience in my case. I think she violated my rights right there. That's like smear that reflects poorly on me in my case now, and I'm just seeking justice. So what does the audience comment have to do with me and my justice for my case?
The audience comment is not being taken into consideration for your case.
Thank you, Your Honor. Also, I would like to make a short statement to the court based on.
Can we mute Mr. Goheen Rango? He's talked already.
Right. I'm sorry?
Sir, I'm not. You have an attorney. I've done everything that you've asked me to do. I've allowed everyone to speak who is asked to speak. We are done. I'm setting future court dates and I'm setting release conditions. We're not going to do any more today.
Okay, Your Honor. All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right. So on cause number 3A0121573, I am going to lower the bail to $5,000. I do think it meets a balancing test, both of proportionality regarding the fact this is a simple misdemeanor charge. It does take into account, though, the number of existing current pending charges that Mr. Go currently has. So that's the test that I'm putting in place. I'm going to set this matter over 2 weeks to Ms. Gaffney's next court date. Ms. Gaffney, you're going to be here next on the 22nd of June, I believe. Yes, Your Honor. The June 22nd court date is going to be at 10 a.m. Mr. Goheen Rango, if you are still in custody, you will be appearing certainly before that, likely at 8:30. Your conditions of release are as follows. You're to violate no laws. You're to appear at all mandatory court dates. You're to notify the court of any change of address or phone number. You're not to consume or possess any alcohol or non-prescribed drugs or controlled substances. You are released. You are going to be on intensive pretrial release. I'm not going to impose random UAs at this time.
Your Honor, thank you for hearing what my mom had to say. And like I said, that's her.
I understand. My intention was not that it would go the direction that it went, but certainly I wasn't going to cut her off. I was hoping that she would get to something pertinent regarding your release. But so I can tell you that she meant to do that. So the bail that I was at last time was over $20,000. I still have I have over $1,700 left to pay in debt. So, and I work almost every single day. And then I have pre-trial meetings. I have to drive 40 miles up north to Cowlitz. I've set release. I appreciate the circumstance. I've bail. Release conditions.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I think it's an appropriate balance, and we'll see you in a few weeks, if not before. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Apologize for my demeanor or misdemeanor.